Hi class, I wanted to give you some video feedback. I've looked at these, but I want to respond as a first-time user. So I'm going to go through and give you some details. I'll try and go as quickly as I can because I know you don't want to spend too much time looking over these. I want you to look at everyone's because that's how you'll really learn the best. I really liked those 3 buttons that led to these options. This, though it's light, it's really light. I have to say the contrast, it looks beautiful, but the contrast just isn't there, and it does need to be a little easier to read. You can align these. This is for your portfolio, so this is for everybody. That's why I want you to watch everyone's feedback. These can be edited since you are creating this yourself. Basically, it's not for a client, as long as it's correct with the items and things that they gave you. But you can edit these down or put in a little more content here so they line up, because that will look better for you. Otherwise, this is looking really good, Matthew, and it is lovely, just needs a little more contrast there. It's just very light. Okay, but you've got everything there, and the top is looking good. It's a nice layout. You do want to do something here. Here's something everybody can do. The Monday, Wednesday are the same locations. Tuesday, Thursday are the same locations. If you need to, you can combine those as you need, okay? So that's something for everybody to think about. Make sure all your links are working. This is really great, easy to read. I can tell you've put some time into this and you're linked up. So really great job on that. And these link up, terrific job. It really is. It's a great job, Matthew. All right, let's see what's next. And okay, so this one, the menu needed to be filled out. The location is missing. We need that. I will say kudos to updating your icons, because I know this is a hamburger truck, and so you've changed it to tacos, and that's great. You can also change these colors. You can make that image a little bluer, not so purple. You could change that to make it a little more like the colors of the brand. So again, that just needs to be fixed. We don't need all of this. We don't need all of that, okay? Lots of space here. So let's see. The who we are, this needs to be edited down and also wrapped. It's just really long, and so that's a little more scrolling than someone is going to look at probably on their site. This looks good. Some of that is working. You might want to take that off or give it a feed. Make sure these connect to where you want them to all together. All right. It's got some great strengths. It's got some things that need some attention, right? All right. Great start. All right. Let's see. All easy to read. We've got sides at the beginning. Cool. This is great, and it's laid out nicely. You might want to left align. We can have center alignment when there's only a few lines, but think about it, because really we're a little too close here. We need some padding. All right, so think about that. And I think, and like I say, you can change this as you need to. Pull that space out, make it a little more like this. Watch your spacing, everybody. Make sure they're equal and the same. This comes up just a little. I know it's hard sometimes when you've got these columns. Also, just make sure we've got some padding inside this. Okay, that's too close. Okay, and the same amount here as here. It can be done. You can do it. Here. Okay, so that's really the kinds of things I see, but these are details that you're going to put it together, and then you're going to make those adjustments. And so I appreciate that. This is a great background image for parallax scrolling, because it's not a portrait, so a person's face is not being cut off, for example, and it's got a deep background. Problem is, it's also a plate, and it looks like it could be glass or something, and that's we're talking about a food truck. I'm not going to say it needs to change necessarily, but you guys have to be really careful about it. If this is the only image, maybe, but I see we've got this as well. I would totally buy that, but it's glass. And it'd be nice if it were centered, although that doesn't really bother me as long as this is centered. So yeah, but your links are working, I think. Okay, check out your links, all right? They either go away. Okay, you can disable those. I thought this was an interesting touch, and I love that image. It's just a little hard to read, so I would probably cut this down a little bit so that it can be larger text on, where you're feeding it in here, okay? You might, and that's all good. You may want this to be centered, although that could be really stacked, starting to look rather stacked if you do that. Okay, I'm going to let you work on this because I like what you're doing. This, I think, would look better if you took the formatting out and just made a block that has some transparency to it. Okay, like, this, so we can see behind, because it's not a lot of content, which is good. It's a good image for that. But let's put a rectangle with just an opacity 20-30%. White, whatever it takes for this to read, but that would be a better way to do this. And consider left aligning, although, check it out. All right. Okay. You might want to go ahead and just link to that so we're not scrolling through some of the other things. But this is a really great, strong beginning here. Okay. Nice and clean. One word by itself we have to be careful with. You may want it down here. You might want to have to you here. Maybe that when you change it, it reflows, but just keep it in mind. Just watch for those things. And this image, these galleries, those need to be optimized because they were really loading slow. As you could see, it wasn't there for a little bit. It's going to be there for you, but because it's going to be in your cache and everything, but it took some time coming up. And okay, checking all your spaces and things like that. The menu could probably be a little bigger. The logo could be a little bigger. And good, like I said, you could edit if you need to line them up and not have a single word by itself. But it looks good. It's a nice enough contrast. It's a little small, but not bad. I'm reminding you. We'll want to remove this space. You probably are aware of that. And just make sure we have the same distance between everything. All right, but it's looking good. Okay. Okay, good. This you want to be very careful about. Remove that block. We probably could get into this a little sooner, but it looks good. It's a good amount. It's not a lot, but it's all right. Okay. All in all, it's a great clean site. Looks professional. I'm hoping that these aren't images from the template, but everything else seems to be okay. If I select more, I do go to, let's see. Okay, we need to work on that, right? Check out that link. And so now it doesn't want to go back. So that's kind of an issue there. Let's see. Whoopsie. Okay. Okay. All right, so You can see why it's important, but just, and yeah, I'm going to do it again because I want to make sure. Okay, so the news page, something about that isn't linked up, okay? So work on that. All right. You know, this is a good, strong site. I think what you want to do, consider left aligning. It may be a few too many lines to be center aligned. Consider making this one of your other colors to pull this in. You know, the blue could be the Real Deal Taco blue. It could be this blue-green, and again here as well. Okay, instead of the red. The red says something else. So, and try not to have one line. But otherwise, you've done a good job. But here we've got glassware, a little bit like the template, but this is good. And yeah, so go ahead and update that with, you know, a taco or something like that. But this is good. It's a good, strong layout. And you do have your menu here. Could be a little bigger. And you want the titles to have a little more hierarchy. You know how you've done here, you want to distinguish this a little bit as well. And you can make these the same number of lines. Okay. Okay. So I thought I saw locations somewhere. But I don't find it easily. Not finding locations easily. You did a good job here. You could change some of these colors. Once you change that color, it's going to work a little better for you. And here are your locations. So I think maybe you need to add a location is probably more important than happenings. So you could do both, but I would add something for locations and link it right to here. Okay, we need to have the exact, you know, places and days. All right. If I've missed it, I'm sorry, but it's not obvious to me. All right. Okay. All right. Terrific start. I really liked this, and it works well with your background. I love that it's not a video. It's not taking up a lot of space, but it still has a nice touch. Let's close up all this. Nice and big. You've got some really important stuff here. The only thing is, and I loved how this felt, but this is a picture of words. It's not searchable, and it's not the same menu. Okay? Desserts and things like that. Let's see. But the main thing is it's not entered, and that's important. Of course, if it were a client, then the menu items would be critical. Okay. But looks good. This button needed to be linked up or disabled, removed. Left align this. Might want to, yeah, left align. And give a little padding here so this lines up. A little bit of alignment. I liked this. It's easy to read. Nice. Very nice. And like I said, I liked how this was, but you need padding here. Okay, you need an indent for sure. So go into padding or margin or whatever you have to do that. But it's looking good. This is a terrific start. All right, this is a picture of words, so that needs to be entered. And of course, this logo would probably be in the header. This needs to be a better file of that that are there for you so that it is not cut off and so that it is cleaner. So a vector graphic. This is glassware. It's a food truck, so be careful. When it says scroll down to learn more, I don't see a whole lot more. So that's kind of a situation there. And yeah, so we needed a menu page. Okay, all these need to be entered as well as the menu. All right, good start. Okay, very good. Glassware looks like it could be an interior, but it's good in that the contrast is really strong. Okay, so that's good. That's a good amount. Your link, doesn't appear to be working, so you want to work on that. These are all great. Good, good. Okay. Good choice of images. This is strong, but this is placeholder text, so you want to get rid of that. But everything else is looking good. You're lining up well. Get rid of that text. Terrific job, Connor. Great start. Nice. Okay. All right. You could consider making that bigger or bolder, all caps and bold or something, but it's okay. It's good. It's a good start. We had to scroll down to get to your about story. Left align this, put the period there, and let's take this out. It would be better if we didn't have to scroll so much, because when we click on it, we want to go and see exactly what we are told is going to be there. And so that's something to work on. Love this shot. That's really great. And you are linked up. Terrific. Okay. All right. That's a great start. Okay, I really like this font, but it's hard to read back here. You might have to put a box with a transparent, a little bit of opacity there. Nice glassware, though. Glassware, it's a great color for the company, but glassware. This we need to complete the menu. We're missing the dessert menu, and the milk isn't quite as great a selection as the ones you have on the other page. I would take one of those out and put it here, or the one that you're going to replace with it, because there is a lot of glass. Good, I'd probably give a little separation between these. And like I said, you can double those up, the ones that are the same. This needs to be edited down to 2 or 3 paragraphs. Make sure you have your period there. But this is good. Okay. You can link these up. You did. Terrific. Clean. Okay. Let's put the contact page at the end, everybody. A little hard to read. Okay, it's the wrapping. Look at how it's wrapped. So a little bit of a header and for any events, and wrap it and maybe give some space. All right, move that over here. Terrific start. We only need, you guys, we only need to have our place social media in one place. So I felt like we had it someplace else, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, it's here and it's here. So, and they need to match. All right, terrific start. All right, so this starts out nice, but make sure you take off those things that don't apply. And we don't have anything for locations. And the menu, you see, of course, is incomplete. Update the year here. And again, let's edit that and wrap it. Good. And pretty good. Okay. So some important things are missing. All right. All right. Good start. And let's see where we are here. We might be a little crowded here, and this might, this probably doesn't need to be there. Be careful, because this is such a small image size, and videos really slow a site down. So I really don't feel that it's worth it to break up this banner for that. And the phone number, being a food truck, I think I would put it on the contact page instead of up here. This, maybe in a font like this that is not a serif font, would work well, and maybe a little lower here. maybe all caps, maybe black. Stop to think about it. This looks good. This works as far as it's definitely easy to read, and that's the most important thing. Yeah, again, be careful with the background videos is all. This we have to be careful because it sort of changes the font, and you would want to use this there, the brand here, especially with the circle. And we always want to make sure, just while I'm on it, that also this is being clipped. We want to have an oval if the client gives us an oval. Okay, we can't skew anything or make it fit the way we want. This reads well, and this link is working. I think this font just isn't quite right. I would probably stick with this font. I think that would work better and match where you are. Okay. All right, good, good. Probably could edit that, and then these would all align. Maybe close a little bit. This actually is really nice. Left align, left align, left align. Okay, I can see. Well, I can see where you want it centered, and you can actually go in, if this were all that you had here, you could go in and change a little bit of wording or whatever to get it to fit, but that would be a little bit of a challenge, but you're so close to having it lined up here. Okay. I would align those, put a little more here, a little more there, take a line off here, and those will line up. Good, good, good. Same thing. Let's get this down to 2 words so that we have it on one line, right? Could be fresh limeade, something like that. Okay. Well, these all align. That's good. This one doesn't. You would need to add something to all of them if you're going to do one. Okay. This, you want it to be a simpler background. It's hard to read. This lettering, make sure you stick with the same kind of headers. If it's going to be this, just larger, or that, exactly like that, for here, I think that you're going to want to just carry the style over and no tiling of the logo. Okay, it's very hard to read, and I think it just needs to be simplified for this page. It could be not as deep. Also, this could wrap all the way to here, probably extend. So it's just 2 lines. Yeah, okay. Make sure you have the same amount of space everywhere and not too much. Okay, so you have 2 areas that talk about location. We definitely need space here. Let's start. A map isn't the most useful thing. The location, times, and places are, so that would really kind of be maybe under the scroll where, you know, they just scroll a little bit and see it. And then this, your news section, basically, I would put on another page. I love this, but I'd put that on another page. You know, you could bring all of this up just to here, not necessarily have the map there. It could be underneath it. Take all this off that way. Just bring that content up here and add this someplace else. That would be, I think, the cleanest thing for you. Here we have all caps, but not here. So be careful about that. Be consistent. And we talked about the font. This is harder to read, so that means the image is there's just not enough contrast between the text and the image. It's not falling back. You can, and I would cut this down and put some space between a few paragraphs. And then you can make a block, a rectangle that is a 20-30% transparency, and that black might read over it, but it's not working in places. So we need to make that just easier. Okay, and this will go out. Okay, I'm not sure, you wouldn't need this. If you decided to keep this background, again, it's going to really slow things down. This is a nice collage here. You don't need this. You may feel like, well, that was too dark or too white and that was not showing up or something, but I don't think you need this. And if you're going to use it, you could just do the whole background in this color and make it extend all the way across, put it back here, you know, and here with an image, you know, like this, crop that, put it there, and have this over here over this, if that's what you want to use. Okay, so you've got some options, but a little less choppy. Okay, bring this all the way over. Okay. Yeah, solids are not our enemy. Okay, they make things easy to read, and that's a priority. Okay, it's a priority. So this may not quite work this way. This may have to come over and be on a rectangle that's a color, you know, this color or a green or this color here, and then put your content in that, you know, or push this image over. But that's something that is going to be needed. And you only need this, I think, which is better than this, because it takes up the whole width of the site, and that is really going to help it stay clean. Okay, so I would think about that. All right, terrific start, everybody. I'm really excited to see what these are going to look like in week 4. All right, good job.